Hi, I'm Amy Yonkman. I'm here with the Montague FFA. I'd like you guys to introduce yourself.
I'm Delaney Hopma.
Kate Firestein.
Amanda Cedarquist.
Thank you for coming here tonight. They're here for their media day, and we just had a lot of fun. They brought some really cool props, so make sure you stay tuned for the hype video that we have coming and the photos. I think you're going to enjoy it. So let's get into a little bit about what you guys do with the FFA. For those who don't know, what is the FFA?
The FFA is an intracurricular organization for students. It develops leadership skills. They have projects outside the school, and then there's FFA in the classroom. So there's three components: FFA, SAE, and FFA, SAE, and classroom experience. And so students will compete in contests ranging from leadership skills contest to a skills contest. We raise the broilers at school. We do community service projects. For example, last spring we installed some peace poles in the city of Whitehall. Organizations will call us to help them out. So we like to be active in the community. We like to teach kind of farm to table in the classroom and let people know what we do and what we're about.
So I think you answered my next question already. So how does the FFA connect with what you're learning within the classroom? If you guys want to kind of, because you guys are the ones in the classroom learning, if you want to chime in on that.
So I'm actually in the integrated agricultural projects. So I also do stuff outside of the classroom, and that's kind of like my independent class. So we do anything from like staining fences, painting rocks for the middle school. We work in the greenhouse a lot, and in the barn we're building stuff, and we'll go out and help the community and do different projects too.
Yeah, and I've been a part of Ag Leadership, which is one of our classes, and I'm currently in vet science. So for vet science, we learn about like veterinary sciences, but then we also get to do a little bit more because we have access to different things that we may not have at a regular school.
Mm-hmm. So with that, you did some dissecting recently, correct? What did you dissect?
We dissected a starfish. We're working on getting ready for our bullfrog, and then we're also doing a pig.
Yeah, I did a pig in high school.
Yeah.
That was weird. Definitely weird. So if someone was thinking about joining FFA and they're kind of on the fence, they're not sure, what advice would you give them? What encouragement would you give them to kind of make that decision?
I would just say try anything that you can. We have a lot of different aspects, like Ms. Firestein said. So if you're not into the leadership part, there's a skills contest or an SAE that you may be interested in, and vice versa. So I would just say try as much as you can and get involved in any way.
I think that's a good answer. So what are some of the common misconceptions about FFA?
I think that any misconceptions they might have is that it's just about one thing or that it's focused strictly on animals. I think a lot of people are surprised to learn. For example, we do a products for a purpose drive, and so we collect personal hygiene products along with paper products like plates and napkins, and we donate them to the Mosquito Rescue Mission. And so I feel people just have a tunnel vision sometimes when it comes to the FFA. They think that you have to be on a farm or that you're going to farm. That's what it was for so long. Now it's not that. We, like Delaney was saying, we're in the greenhouse, we're doing dissections. We're out monitoring stream. We went to Little Flower Creek, the AP Environmental Science class did this year with Grand Valley State University, and collected data and analyzed it, and we're going to go back in the spring. And so I feel that the biggest probably misconception is people have it in a tiny little window, and it's actually a huge, expansive window. Yeah. It's one of the organizations that there's literally something for everyone. If you want to be a hardcore competitor and you want to go hard at parliamentary procedure, public speaking, you can totally do that. If you never want to compete in anything, you can totally do that and be a completely active member in the community service aspect of things. There's things around the school. We're getting ready to do a countdown to 12 days before Christmas break. So you can run those sorts of things and apply for different awards and whatnot. And that can be your thing that you do.
Yeah.
So I love that it can be, there's something for anyone. You want to drive your tractor to school and drive your tractor to school today, you can.
Yeah.
And you can do a couple of other things, or you can do a bunch of other things.
Yeah. That's really cool. So you can kind of pick and choose what you're doing, and there's a lot. So you touched on a little bit of the projects. So what are some of the overall projects that you guys have done this year or you're working on currently?
So we're currently working on the 12 Days of Christmas. We did Harvest Day in the past, and what are a couple other ones?
I'd say that a big one that we do that a lot of people know about is Animal Day, where we bring in a variety of animals, and then the elementary school kids walk over to the middle school or the high school, wherever it is that year, and they look at the animals, and then they learn some facts about the animals, get a story read to them. I think that's probably one of my favorites.
It's a cute one.
We were getting ready for Santa Stop. When I came to Montague 9 years ago, I was interested in starting this, and so Sherry Lemon, the chapter mom program, she's a chapter mom. She's awesome. She helped this vision come to life, and so every year we pick a theme. This year it's a Charlie Brown Christmas, and we set up an area. We deck it all out. Santa comes. The students have a story read to them, and all the students at the MAC are able to come over and Santa will read a story to them, or they can sit on Santa's lap and tell them what they want for Christmas. This year we're changing it up a little bit. It's going to be located at the MAC instead of at the high school. So we have a few different things. So I want to speak for sure what's happening in case they've changed something. But that is something that we have coming up. We also are going to do Christmas tree recycling. And so we call it Giving to Goats. And so from December 26th until the first week or so, second week in January, you can drop off your Christmas tree at the FFA bar and just make sure all your tinsel and ornaments are off of it. And then we take it to local goat farm.
Oh, nice.
And then the goats have a snack.
Yeah. You had mentioned the broiler chickens that were raised, so those are going to be eaten at the school, correctly? So it's kind of that farm to table. So were you guys involved in the chicken raising?
Yeah, so we set up their pens. We do a field trip, and we go down to the feed store, pick out their feed, and we get them on Chick Day. It's always exciting. And then we raise them from chicks until they get nice and big and ugly. And then we also have another field trip, and we bring them to the slaughterhouse and slaughter them all. And then they're frozen, and we will have them for lunch on school day.
Circle of life. That's what it is. So when is the school going to be doing the meal? Do you know it all yet?
No, we don't know that
okay.
yet.
They kind of coordinate that. You guys just bring the food.
Yep. The birds went to the contest, and then the other birds that were processed later on are in the school kitchen. They're in the freezer right now.
Okay. So there's the leadership contests coming up. So what are some of the things that you guys are doing for that to prepare?
In the past, I've done Green Hand and Parliamentary Procedure. This year, I'm trying something new. I'm going to do a demo. So me and two of my friends, we're working on our script, and then we have to get our props and then explain the process of something to a panel of judges, and then they can ask us questions about it. So that's kind of what I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done agricultural issues in the past, and this year I'm also doing a demo. Our demo's on beef jerky.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like making it and everything?
Yeah, making homemade beef jerky.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. So I've seen a lot of pictures online and some talk about the raising of the salmon, and the middle school's raising the sturgeon. Can you tell about what's going on with that and what's the process there?
So the DNR has had a program for several years called Salmon in the Classroom. And I was a Salmon in the Classroom teacher in my previous district. And so we tried to do it last year, and the permitting from one school to the other, there's just a big fiasco with that. And so this year we were able to get a permit, and so Ms. Kaminsky is raising them in the freshman science class. So we have 150, we picked up 150 sturgeon eggs, and they will, they'll hatch, and they'll become, they're a fry, they call it, and they're going to develop all their body organs and systems, and then they will continue to grow, and they'll eventually be introduced to food. And then in the spring, the DNR will let us know where we can release them. And Ms. Kaminsky hasn't decided yet how that's going to look, if it's going to be a select few people, a class thing, or what, but we'll have a group of people that will go and release them out to restock, hopefully the Muskegon River or the White River, somewhere around here.
Oh, cool. How are the students reacting to the kind of the watching of this whole process so far?
They really like it. There's a little, when Ms. Kaminsky and I came back from the Wolf Lake Hatchery, they had a little nest that they made, and we put the eggs in there, and then the eggs have hatched out of that. They were just these little orange eggs with 2 black dots, which is their eye development, and then they've come out of their hatch, and now they're kind of sideways, and they kind of skirt along the bottom of the tank. And so students like to walk up to it and look at that.
Yeah.
Students are responsible for testing the water, recording all of that, the pH and the ammonia level and nitrite, and then they problem solve for any problems. They recently had an algae growth, and they kind of troubleshot that to figure out that the light might be contributing to advanced algae growth. And so they switched up how the lights are going to be on to slow it down. So there's things like that. They will run in there and check every day and see if there's any that have died, or if there's any more that are kind of skirting along the bottom of the tank.
Yeah. So you mentioned Santa Stop and the Harvest Day and the Animal Day. So you guys do a lot with kind of the elementary school. So this is kind of almost their preview a bit for FFA kind of. So I know the kids always like it. I've had kids go through the district already. But you said the Animal Day is your favorite. Delaney, what's kind of your favorite event?
I really like the Mother's Day planting when we go over to the elementary
about that
school,
one.
and we'll have them plant a flower for their mom, and then we'll grow it in our greenhouse and bring it back on Mother's Day for them.
I like that one too. I've got a couple flowers in my yard that did that from that. So if someone in the community wants to support FFA or, just learn more about your work, what's the best way for them to figure out how to do that?
They can contact us on our social media. We have an Instagram and a Facebook page. They can also call the high school and ask for myself or Maddie Kaminsky or McKenna Swass or Sherry Lemon. And they can get the information to us that way and answer any questions. They can volunteer to judge at contests. We're hosting districts on January 29th. And so there'll be 6 other schools who will bring students. We'll have a few, 200-300 students at the school competing in all of the different contests that we have. And so we need volunteers for judges. Students work really hard for these contests, and we need people to judge them and take pride in what they're doing and represent their community. So we're always looking for people to help us judge
Yeah.
for things like that, or to come in and listen to students as they're preparing for their contests to give them some feedback and things of that nature.
That's a good idea. When you're preparing for all of that, how long do you guys think you put into that? How much time is put into the preparation? I'm assuming it's a lot.
Yes.
I'd say we probably start like a month in advance, a couple weeks before, and we just keep getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some dedication. So into the next year coming up, since we're almost at the end of this year, what is the FFA doing in 2025? Any plans yet? Are they secret?
We have all of our standard things that we'll do. It's really the heavy leadership contest season. Districts are January 29th. Regionals are February 12th, and then state convention is the first week in March. And so pretty much from now until then, that's what we are focusing on.
Yeah.
And then in the
bam,
spring, we'll do, as Delaney mentioned, we'll do the Mother's Day planting. We have gone and helped citizens get their yards cleaned up and whatnot. Or, the city, like example, when Whitehall called us to help install some peace poles. We also work at the dirt daubers auction that they have at the White Lake Methodist Church in Montague. And so we have students that volunteer for that. We don't really have anything new for the spring, I don't think, on the agenda.
It seems pretty full.
Yep.
You just went on for a while about what you guys do. You guys are pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have any last remarks before we end it, kind of? No? Well, thank you for coming for your media day, and thanks for being on the podcast, on the live podcast. And this is Amy Yonkman for CatchMark Community. Thanks for tuning in.